My 25F boyfriend, 28M, told me to ask my dad for money when I asked him to help pay our bills. My 25F boyfriend, 28M, moved in together last month after 5 years of dating, 3 years being long distance. I just graduated school and am waiting to start my job in a couple of weeks, and he is not currently employed. So, money is tight and I am living off of my savings until I start work. He is also living off of savings while he searches for a job. Over dinner one night, I was talking about how expensive the bills are for the house we live in and how I would really appreciate it if he could contribute to the bills or even contribute more to the housework so that not everything falls on me. His response was to laugh and ask if my dad could give me money to pay the bills. While my parents are well off, they bought the house we are living in and are not requiring rent payments until I start my job. It is not their responsibility to pay for my living expenses and his living expenses. This comment made me extremely upset, and he does not understand why I won't just ask for a loan from the bank of dad. He still hasn't offered to help with anything, and if I ask him to help he just shrugs me off and continues playing video games or gets mad at me and refuses to speak to or look at me. It is even worse if it is something that I asked him to do previously that he hasn't done. He will also blame his not doing anything helpful on his ADHD by saying, "I have a condition." Our relationship has been mostly okay before now, but after he made that comment I cannot look at him the same way. And some of the little things that he does that did not bother me so much before bother me now. For example, he has 2 dogs, I have 1, and his 2 dogs bark and growl at me whenever I enter the house or a room that he is in. He doesn't do anything to stop them, and it bothers me that his dogs treat me like an intruder in my own home. My parents think that he is taking advantage of me and I am inclined to agree with them, but I do love him, and until 2 weeks ago I thought we would get married and spend the rest our lives together. I am at a loss for what to do and could use some advice on how to move forward. So, could anyone give me some advice about how to move past a comment like this, or what to do when you think the person you love is taking advantage of you? And #X200B. We all have a breakup story. This seems like one. You misjudged him. He is currently taking advantage of you. You should have had him leave already and ended it. Nothing you said was funny and he is proudly using you. Don't move past it. See the red flag in front of you. If you already don't have a comfortable living arrangement and he feels it's his date's parents' job to pay his bills, what does supposedly loving him do for you? This is exactly why you shouldn't date and marry, then live together. Sometimes it's great until you live together, and that is the sign this relationship isn't meant to go any further. Kick him out and start shopping again. Kick this child out, lol. I have a condition. Well, I have severe anxiety and panic disorder, so does that mean my boyfriend has to do everything and pay for everything while I identify as a problem? Your parents are correct. You shouldn't have moved in together until both of you were able to contribute equally, i.e. you both have jobs. He certainly does have a condition. It's called mooching. Don't expect him to start contributing even when he does get a job. He has told you that he expects your parents to fund him. Believe him. Boyfriend, 32 male, made a joke that I'm 34F, his bangmate. God, typing that out made me feel ridiculous, but did you ever have one of those little moments that turned much bigger over time? That one little joke sat weird with me. He didn't mean it, I know he didn't. Yet it was the truth. Let me explain. When I first met who I'll refer to as Frank, since it's an Always Sunny reference, he was this gorgeous, funny, lovable train wreck. He was someone that I would hook up with, and that turned into a friendship. He asked me to get into a relationship with him, and I was very honest, saying he drank too much, partied too often, and while he was fun to hang out with, I couldn't see him being a partner. Not saying I was perfect, but we just weren't on the same page with life goals. Now, knowing feelings have been involved, we stopped sleeping with one another but stayed friends. Surprisingly, he asks for help on a whim one day, saying he doesn't want to drink anymore and is tired of the party scene. I tell him I'll support him along the way and how proud I am. It takes about a year, but he completely turns his life around and we start dating maybe 6 months after. Now we're in the here and now 4 years later. We have a home, a couple dogs, 2 great careers, and happy. Except I do everything. I cook, I clean, I do the laundry, I do the shopping. I massage his body and act like a damn porn star in the bedroom. To the point where we've stopped having sex. He'll get head or a handjob and fall asleep with "I'll get you next time." That never comes. And the bills are split 50-50. I brought all of this up after he made his joke and asked for effort. I mean heck, I didn't even get anything for my birthday. So something. Cook a meal was met with an "all burn it. Clean up just doesn't get done. Buy me flowers, they're too expensive. Wanting to have sex again? He feels fat and doesn't want to. When I broke down and said I couldn't do it anymore, he told me he loved me, would change, and to give it another chance. It's been a couple weeks and nothing has changed, not that I thought it would. Can I get through to him, or am I just wasting time by staying? Too long did not read. I'm a bangmaid on a strike. He changes or I leave. Advice needed. Are you this manchild's mother? You sound like an amazing girlfriend and future wife, but you're wasting your time on someone who does nothing but take advantage of you. All the things you listed you will get back in the future, but with someone who cooks, cleans and rubs your back. The love you can bring into a relationship will always be there, but the love you receive depends on who you choose to be with. I mean, it kind of sounds like you've already decided and just want validation. You know what you have to do. You need to leave. That wasn't a joke. Why are you with him? Why do people stay in things like this? At some point, being alone is better. I'm sorry you are being treated this way, but ultimately we have to take responsibility for how we allow others to treat us. If you don't stand up for yourself, no one else will. Give yourself the same advice you would give a friend if they were in the same position, and then follow that advice. He's not going to change. My girlfriend, 21F, wants to marry me, 20M, for an ID and wants this marriage to be secret. Hi. TLDR, my girlfriend, 21F, want to marry me, 20M. We've been courting for about 2 months now, and today she asked me if I'd marry her. She said it would be unofficial, as in we wouldn't tell her parents or mine, and that we wouldn't have sex, we'd only be signing the papers and then continue courting. We're agreed to no sex till we're married. If her parents found out that she married me, they wouldn't be happy, and mine would most likely kick me out of the house, stop paying for my studies, and my dad, who I work for, would most likely fire me. My girlfriend has said that she wants to go overseas to study and that she wants the ID for that, but that if she went overseas she would be leaving me or leaving for good. Although she has also said that she doesn't want to stay in the country she is currently in, and that if she got the change to leave she would. She has also said that if I don't want to do it, she can find someone else to marry for paperwork and then pay them a fee for letting her marry them. I'm not comfortable with this though, as I feel like it's low-key cheating, and overall I just don't like the idea of her being legally married to someone else. She said it'd only be me and her bother that know about this, and that it's really not that urgent. I am planning to marry her official one day, most likely with the next 2-3 years. I really like this girl and feel like she's the one. What she's asking though is a massive red flag in mind, and I've heard of people agreeing and it ending very badly. I'd appreciate an advice. Should I say yes and just go for it, or am I girl to be Seuss and should I say no? You've been courting for 2 months and feel like she's the one? I've had shoes for longer that I still wasn't sure about. Do not do this, there are too many things that can and will go wrong. Plus she is just using you. She's completely trying to use you, and you could get in serious trouble legally and socially if you go through with this. Absolutely not worth it. It doesn't sound like she loves you the same way you love her. You deserve much better for the person you actually marry. Boy, am I glad that I was never this naive at any point in my life. I'm not certain I'd have ever made it to adulthood alive and unscathed. Did you really read your own post again and thought, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Why shouldn't I marry this stranger who probably ditches me as soon as she papers? She probably thinks, the guy seems desperate enough that he will marry me to get it. Why not? I see no way this will lead to your happy ending. Only a terrible, exhausting divorce where your wife is outside of the country banging an Italian while you are regretting ever saying yes to this and her. I 32M need some advice on a small situation with my 27 female wife. Update. I asked her to delete homeboy off of Snap and she said, it will be significant other beyond awkward to have to go to work and explain, oh sorry. I had to delete you because my husband doesn't trust both us, like? No thanks. We're done. So my wife has finally gone out to a party with her coworkers. She hasn't gone out in a while and she definitely deserved to go out and have fun. The problem I had with it though is, she told me a specific time that she would be home. She also has a male coworker that I necessarily don't trust. When I asked if the coworker would be there, she said no. I know she has no control of who shows up to a party that isn't hers, but homeboy was working the night shift and showed up a little bit before she said she was coming home. Once homeboy showed up, she stopped responding to me. Once she got home I asked why she didn't tell me she was staying later and she admitted she could have responded something. Last text I got was that she was drunk. This was after she told me she would be home. She's mad at me only for the fact that I brought up the guy. She says she has no interest in him and that the dude wants to be my friend. Not sure how much I believe of that. There has been one instance in the past that was very similar, but she in fact was with another man, so my reasoning for thinking like this has some reasoning. Am I being a jealous husband, or is this some sort red flags you guys see in this? Your issues come from the fact your wife has lied in the past to meet with other man. Do I get it right? How was this past situation resolved? So she cheated 4 years ago and now looks like she is setting up her new affair. You already know what should have happened 4 years ago. Why go through this a second time? There has been one instance in the past that was very similar, but she in fact was with another man. Pretty thin details on the most important line of this post, dude. Was she fucking another dude, or was there another dude in the same building? No dude wants to be friends. If she cheated once, I'm not sure how going out and getting drunk with dudes is helping your marriage. She sounds like a party girl. Never marry the party girl.